Hello everyone, and welcome to the first features video for Afghanistan 11. Afghanistan 11 is a turn-based game about counter-insurgency, and you will have to win the hearts and minds of the locals in order to win the game and help build a modern Afghanistan. Hearts and minds is a very important factor in the game, and it measures how successful you are. In the game, every village has its own hearts of minds value, depending on the local sentiment towards the US and Afghani National Armed Forces. There are a number of ways in which you can influence hearts and minds of a village. Visiting villages with your units. By moving your units into villages, you can re-establish your control on the territory and make your presence felt. It's also a good way to gather intel, but we'll cover that point in another video. Clearing IEDs, or improvised explosive devices, is another way to gain hearts and minds. Taliban will attempt to damage your units and vehicles by placing IEDs. You'll be able to detect and disarm them with a Husky unit, or you might detect them through other sources of intel and disarm them with your infantry. Destroying enemy units is of course one of your primary goals. It's also a way to raise your hearts and minds. By eliminating the militia and Taliban units, you can demonstrate that the war can be won. Roads are essential to logistics and are therefore of vital importance. You can build roads as well as several types of buildings with a Buffalo unit. By building roads and connecting Afghan villages to your base, you will win hearts and minds, as the improved infrastructure will benefit the local economy. Another advantage is that it'll be easier for the player to reach villages and visit them in a timely manner. Another convenient way to win hearts and minds is to transfer UN aid to villages. You can do it by loading UN supplies in your base on a supply truck or a Chinook helicopter, successfully perform the Deliver UN Aid mission, and you're good to go. By establishing the rule of law and general prosperity of the region, you will increase the local support to your cause and you will win the game. But be careful, for the militias and the Taliban will attempt to hinder your progress by striking from the shadows and destroying everything you've built. Several events can lower the local hearts and minds value, including suffering attacks from the enemy and letting Taliban units intimidate villages. When the hearts and minds value becomes too low, villages will switch their allegiance to the militias or the Taliban. You can easily see the current allegiance of a village by looking at its flag. Hearts and minds is also a very important factor to elections. In Afghanistan 11, you can influence the national elections. There are 3 possible candidates who will provide certain bonuses and minuses. You can decide to support a specific candidate and invest political points in his election. The turns during which the electoral campaigns take place are extremely important. Every event leading to the election will have its effect amplified, so during an election you should take extreme care and make sure that you win hearts and minds as much as possible. This concludes our first video for Afghanistan 11. In the next one, we will cover a different feature. Thanks, and stay tuned.